Friends, happy July 4th Eve. It's a beautiful sunshiny evening, and we've got our glass of JB Neufeld Cabernet Sauvignon, and we're going to do a little garden tour so I can show you what's happening. I feel like this year's garden is just a lot of flowers. There's not a lot happening as far as produce is concerned. And even, I don't know how it happened that way this year. The wind was pretty crazy. The tomatoes just didn't get planted. Like, we had other things we were focused on. And so we're kind of playing catch up, I feel like. But honestly, if you're looking at Mother Nature, I think we're right on track because we had such a cool June. So anyways, let me kind of show you what's happening around. Here we are. It's a beautiful, not quite golden hour. It's only, like 7:30, I think. But here is the scope of our raised beds. Everything is really pretty. A lot of the blooms still going. Lots of snapdragons and these larkspur. Definitely growing larkspur again. They've been absolutely gorgeous. I forgot there's one packet that's a botanical interest packet, and then the other one is a larkspur that's Earl Grey, and I got it at the Seattle Garden show last year. So anyways, and then I always let my dill go to seed because then it reseeds itself, because that has all been reseeded, and you can still certainly use those little branching pieces. Oh, look, got ourselves a little ladybug in there. Isn't that sweet? So this had some cabbage that I harvested. This is a lunchbox red. A lot of things I grow from seed, but I was having a really hard time with peppers this year. I don't know what the deal was. But anyways, I had to buy some peppers, and so that's okay. You have to be okay with that. And then these are cucumbers that are starting. So they're just now getting going. So that's really good. And then some scallions, and then down the backside was a row of strawberries this year. And for crying out loud, I've never seen so many roly-poly bugs in my life. So I ripped out half of them. Like, half of them are gone. The plants were just not doing great, and the roly-polies were just taking over. So that was disgusting. But anyways, check out these snapdragons. So some of these I planted, and then I think some of them just seeded themselves from last year. So it's really beautiful, but just not as much produce as I'd like. Although there are some red onions still. Today I had some that I had previously picked. You have to wait until their necks are kind of softened and floppy. These guys still have really hard necks, so they're not ready to harvest yet. And then once they're harvested, then you just let them dry, lay them on the pantry counter in the garage on a little shelf, let them dry. But these are a Walla Walla red, and so I had a bunch that I had harvested previously, and today I sliced them up, and then I put them in pickled them. And just easy little peasy pickle recipe. I didn't even do a boiling type situation. I'm just gonna stick them in the fridge. And so then we'll be able to just use them on burgers, on salads. I've already done one little jar of them from a previous harvest, from the earliest ones that were ready to go. Some of them, because I got these going from little starts, and honestly, that was an interesting experiment, because from seed last year, I had bad luck with the red onions. My yellows, they all did just amazing, but the red onions, I don't know if there's something special about them, or I don't know, but they just didn't do as well. So I bought the starts this year at Wilco, and so you buy them, and they're like just little baby greens that are ready to go, but some of them don't size up. Like, they just get these little tiny onions, and that's it. So these are probably some of the biggest ones, which is probably like a baseball size. So that's pretty good. Usually recipes that call for red onions anyways, you're using like a little bit of it. So so that works out. So I'm going to pickle most of them. Most of them will be pickled, and then I'll just dry these and leave these on the shelf. And then if there's anything that I need this summer for those, then I will use that. So that's one of the raised beds. It's a little breezy tonight. And this girl, this is just like chaos at its max. Forgot to water the mint, and the mint I do in pots because otherwise it'll spread forever and you'll have mint forever. So that's unfortunate, but look at the cute tags that it has. So we'll just leave that there as a memorial, I guess. That's like the headstone to the graveyard of mint that forgot to get watered. Most things are on drip, but not everything. And then this is some anise hyssop and some oregano going to seed. I just trimmed back most of the delphiniums. They were absolutely gorgeous. This cobalt purpley blue. So a lot of those got trimmed back already. This really raspberry color echinacea I absolutely love. So I think I'm going to save some seed from that and then grow some more because it's the prettiest. Oh, look at this little guy's finishing up for the night. The prettiest, it's not just like a purple. It's that fuchsia. I love it. And then these snapdragons grew back from last year. Got some chives in there that got cut back already. But this anise hyssop is just a really pretty touch. You can actually do things with this, like steep the leaves and use it as teas and tinctures and things like that. But I just grow it just for the bees. And then these snapdragons, they reseeded themselves. They're about to get cut back. Scabiosa, this white scabiosa, really pretty. There's another one of those. And then this delphinium, absolutely gorgeous. Just the most electric blue color. So actually I did save some seeds from these so I can expand. I have a garden in mind for this. Okay, so that's that. And then this other little guy has a salvia, needs to get cut back. And then kind of it repeats, but this one has some hardy mums, which they're already getting their buds. I can't remember if that's too soon, and I had even pruned them back, but we'll see what happens if they bud too early, because I don't want them budding until fall, so hopefully they just hold out. So I don't know if that's a testament to the colder June we had or what, but lots of repeats in here, and then there's still room to expand. So moving right along, this eventually one day will be some kind of a gravel paver. We don't know. I mean, I'm sure the husband knows. He's the landscaper, but anyways, for now it's dirt. And then the strawberries, they're kind of just hanging out right now, and so these are everbearing, so they will bear a fruit again. But right now, yeah, I don't see. Oh, I see a few buds. There's a few buds in there. We might get another little flush. But last year they did really well, like all the way through, like almost to the fall. We were getting little nibbles of strawberries, which was really nice. So this variety is the Seascape, and I've been really happy with this. Although I do need to check the drip irrigation. I think they're a little bit dry, so we might have to remedy that. And then I have got some tomatoes down the middle here, a couple different varieties of tomatoes, and then a row of dill that's just glistening in the sunset, and more dill. I just love the flowers. They're just so pretty. And then, yeah, like all these, like these are all dill seeds. All seed heads, like all of this. A ton. So probably I'll cut back some of this before it all goes to seed because we don't want that kind of a mess. But they look like sparklers. Don't they look like sparklers? Actually, I might put some in a vase because that's kind of fun for the 4th. And then this was all grown from seed. So over there I have a Gara, and then Shasta Daisy, and this is the other kind of echinacea, and then a Rudbeckia, snapdragons that found their way in, this dill found its way in, but this is trying to be sort of drought tolerant, just a little bed off of this. I feel like this year it's much more of like a chaos garden. I don't know, I've just been tired this year, haven't gotten a lot of energy out here to all these things. And I'm trying too hard to grow all the flowers because I'm a flower gardener at heart. That was what I wanted to do, but I had to drop out of college because you can't really go to college for, at least where I was. I don't know, maybe there is a thing to be a floral designer, and that's what I wanted to do, but I didn't. So this is your college dropout, not official professional floral designer, like just wanting to grow all the flowers. So these poppies, and then this is a brand new row of strawberries that those will be producing next year. And then more tomatoes down the center. These peppers are doing horribly. Do you see how horrible these peppers are? I don't know what the deal is. Like none of the peppers did well this year from the greenhouse. So that's really sad. And then these are yellow onions. All those are yellow onions. And so I'm just waiting for signs of bulbing. So we'll see. Everything is so late. Like I feel like last year we would almost be harvesting onions, but I got them in the ground super late. That's the other thing. So anyway, and then some repeats, a salvia, strawberry row. So what I'm kind of doing is rotating the strawberry rows out. So this strawberry row has to get removed. That one is its second year. This one is its first year. This one is its second year. So it's just kind of a rotating door of strawberries. Some carrots just sown down this row that never made their appearance this spring. I think I'm gonna grow carrots for the spring anymore. I'll just stick to doing them for the fall. I don't know. We'll see. Another tomato, because you can never have too many tomatoes. All the kinds. And then these are leeks. And then another tomato, and then some echinacea. And then our lawn needs to be mowed, but hey, that's such is life. All of this, I can't wait for the fall because it's driving me nuts. Like, this is just gonna get rearranged, transplanted, moved around in a better position. Like, it's sort of just like this holding zone of things, but honestly, pretty impressive because this Gaura here, this pink Gaura that's just blowing in the wind, I love this stuff. That was grown from seed. There's columbine down here that was grown from seed. This columbine was grown from seed. This has the most, I saved seed from here, the most beautiful burgundy that you've ever seen. And then the foliage is kind of this purpley green. I love it. So pretty much all of this was grown from seed. The feverfew, more columbine. Of course, hosta's not. This beautiful echinacea, all these echinacea and all these rudbeckia, all grown from seed. And so these are in their second or third year. Just insane on the amount of, like, look at that. That's just nuts. Just nuts. And then I think these guys have to go away. That's fine. It's all a work in progress. And then this year I just a couple weeks ago just repainted the chicken coop. So it was blue and white, and now it's black and green. And I love it. I love that it just kind of disappears into the background. This is just a little cottage garden that we've got going. Our pathway is doing very nicely that we did last year. It looks so cute. And then it has to, next phase is going to be back there. So that's phase 2 back there. But a lot of these Shasta daisies were grown from seed. They're almost ready to cut back, I think. And then there's some creeping thyme down there, which this is a really great, beautiful ground cover. Easy to grow, but creeping thyme. And then they'll get these really pretty purpley pinkish flowers. Should we say hi to the chickens real fast? Hi guys, how's everybody? I don't know, Dot's not doing well. I think we have to just kind of eliminate her, if you know what I mean. Oh shoot, they need water. That's why they're all at the door. So we'll hurry. And then just off the chicken coop then, since we're here, this is a couple of 3 tomatoes in here, some larkspur that's about to be done, and then I'll pull it. Some lettuce that hadn't quite sized up before it got warm. They're baby gem romaine. So we'll see what happens to these little guys. And then I popped a couple peppers in there. And then beyond is the rest of the onions intermixed with potatoes. And then beyond that is 2 that are in process. And so that one that is right here, this is compost right now. And so I'm trying to make my own compost because buying compost is for the birds. It's ridiculously expensive. You don't know what's in there. This is literally like filling up, in a couple weeks we filled this up with our own yard clippings, everything I've been trimming back, our garden kitchen scraps, like you name it. And so no weeds, but pretty much just like the clean garden scraps and kitchen scraps are going in there. So my goal is to make some of my own compost. And so then next year, I'll either move it somewhere else or it's just going to stay there until it's ready. And then there's another raised bed beyond that. And so those are going to be next year tomato beds. And so last year we kind of had all of this. This was in ground. And so I kind of was struggling where to put my tomatoes because there's weeds beyond that. And so that's where I feel like the garden is behind this year. And also I planted more varieties. So anyways, I guess we can go over there. And then I can show you. But in the meantime, this compost is literally a mouse hotel. I was watering it down the other day and like dozens upon dozens of mice, like a whole family, like the little babies, like it was so disgusting. So that's that. So yeah, work in progress, guys. Work in progress. So, like, this is reality. Like, this is reality of when you have 6 acres. It just takes time, and you want it to be done overnight because it's annoying, but it just takes time. So anyway, I don't even have pumpkins in the ground yet, and I bought all these beautiful pumpkin seeds this year, but we've got to get this extra compost out of here. Like, all this has to be cleaned out. So hopefully tomorrow we're going to tackle that on the 4th and get that done. But I have some green beans in the ground and some zucchini and cucumbers. And then these are some paste tomatoes. So look at how tiny these little guys are. Like, they're only like 6 inches high. So I just feel like we're really behind. But Mother Nature knows, and she'll catch up. She always does. So those are going to be my paste tomatoes that go in the freezer for preserving, making my own sauces. I just toss them in a freezer bag. I peel them, toss them in a freezer bag, and then as I need them and to make sauce, I just bust out the freezer bag and just boil it down. And they're delicious and sweet and yummy. And so we're just going back around to the other side of the chicken coop to our blueberry forest. So I'm calling it the blueberry forest. So we have, I think, over a dozen now of blueberry bushes. And I think 3 varieties. So some of them are brand new this year. This one I got last year. Has some nice little berries on it. I think this is the Duke variety. Honestly, I think the birds are eating it because this was loaded down. Rude. Okay, well, that's going to be annoying. We're going to have to net all of this. I think this one's in shock because it's kind of turning red. So I don't know. But anyways, this one is new. It's all staked up because it was so windy. And then we have this row. I'm about to water all these. This row of these little 1-gallon babies. They're Jersey varieties, so we'll see how long it takes for those to mature. So that's pretty much all that's happening in the garden right now. Not a lot as far as produce, like plenty of flowers and pretty things, including all of these sunflowers that sort of just self-seeded themselves, and then we planted them here more strategically. Yeah, that's it. That is it from the farmstead today. And for the June, I guess, early July tour. Oh, these. See, look, these have seeded themselves. Yeah, so there's lots of things that have just seeded themselves out here that escaped the raised bed. And then this, we're going to tarp this. So we weeded this. This was all that. Oh, the bane of my existence. It's basically just the tumbleweed little babies. So we had to hand weed all that, and then we're going to silage tarp it so it can't grow back. So that's it. That's all that's happening. I can't wait for some fresh produce. I can't wait for tomato season. And I can't wait for, I don't want to say it, but like the fall, like the yummy fall harvest. I just love that time. So hopefully we can get some more things going because, like I said, it feels like we're very, very behind. And then, oh, I know, one more thing. I did plant down here. Sunny really wanted some bitter melon. So if you don't know bitter melon, it's bitter. Like when they say bitter, they're not kidding. It looks like cucumber. At first, the first time I ever had it, I thought it was like good at first, like your first bite. And then as your taste buds get to like realizing what's in your mouth, it's so bitter. It's so bitter. So anyways, it's like a really sour type of a cucumber kind of a flavor. So he wants a bunch of that. So that's seeded in here. And we'll see how those do. That's going to be an experiment. We've never done that before. So anyways, going to water some things and enjoy the sunset with my Cabernet.